Hey guys, are you planning to use Ubuntu server for the first time and you have no idea what to expect, what to do when starting to use Ubuntu? Is to know the common Ubuntu commands and what Ubuntu server have and doesn't have. Now, it doesn't have a interface, it doesn't have a web browser, it doesn't have basically anything inside. All it has is just words and boring old system. Alright, so let me just show you what I mean. So firstly, I'll have to go inside, of course. Alright, so the first thing is, of course, to log in. Now from here you can see is your task manager. So you can see the system load over here, the usage, memory usage, swap usage, processor, user, and your IP. So your IP, I will blur it out. Now, all this top here are all just the task manager on informing you how much it is using. Now, down here you can see the 69 updates. If you have installed fresh, this shouldn't show, but if it does show, all you need to do is sudo apt update. Now the good thing about Ubuntu server, it tells you what code to run if you need, and sometimes it asks you to upgrade your Ubuntu server. So the good thing is they actually tell you what to do. Now let's go into the common Ubuntu commands. You should know this if you have actually tried before. It is first sudo is admin, is to run admin. Without sudo, you're just a normal user, even though you're in the admin account. Alright? So when you put sudo, it means you're running it as admin. apt update is like updating your softwares. Okay, so just do this. Then you of course need to put in your password. So it's kind of tedious. Every time when you do this sudo apt update, it will always ask you for the administration password, and basically you need to do this most of the time. It's quite tedious. Okay, you should actually know that you're an admin and then you just go through, but due to the security you need to. Okay, good. So now this, you see all kind of nonsense coming up. It's just telling you it's updating all these things. You don't need to know what is updating. You just need to know it's updating software, it's updating some stuff and whatnot until it's finished. So this, I'm trying to make it simpler for everyone to understand. Okay, good. So what another command is sudo apt upgrade. So what an upgrade does is it just upgrades your Ubuntu server. It's kind of like Windows update. So it just updates your Ubuntu server itself. But there is a perception that people say, you don't have to you don't have to always, update, upgrade, restart. It is not true. Yes, you do not need to, but your software sometimes need to in order to work properly. And another thing is it is unstable, so whenever you do the upgrade and update, make sure to do a snapshot of your current system before doing an update, because after you do this, some of your app may not work properly or your Ubuntu server may not work as intended. Why? Because as it is the same concept as Windows, if you update to the new version, sometimes it doesn't work. So that's the only problem. Okay, that's why I always do is I do a snapshot. If it doesn't work, just go back and roll back, wait for the newer version, try that. If it works, just keep on testing it, and if you're doing another new thing, snapshot it and do it again. So if you see in my Hyper-V, I have so many of all this. These are all snapshots in case of emergency, and Ubuntu server for me, in my experience, is really buggy. Alright, if you made a single mistake, I think you should just cry. because once you have single mistake, you have no idea how to fix it, nobody tell you, and even you yourself would not know why, because there is no error, there's nothing to tell you what to do. Even if there is, you will be crying because you have to do a lot of tweaks, a lot of changes before you can actually run it again. Unlike Windows, where you can just reinstall it and it works. Alright, it's taking too long. Let's just skip to the end. And we're done. This is how long it takes to be, even though you're not with me the entire time. But yes, upgrading it will be very long, just like Windows Update. Right? So let's dive into the other code. It is apt-get install. apt-get install is installing software from the web. Now, in Ubuntu server, there is no such thing as browsers. There is no Google, Firefox, or whatever browser inside here. The only thing it has is direct link to the apps. Alright, so when you type in sudo apt-get install, then you will choose what app you want to install. Normally in Ubuntu server, there is no installing Steam or Op Studio or anything that has graphical interface. So in the server, the only thing you can install in server or that is usable is servers. Alright, the apps for servers, kind of like web server, game server, printer server, whatever server apps. Right, so when you install it, then you use this. Another one is the File Explorer. Use MC. MC is File Explorer for Ubuntu server. Now you may be confused by all this nonsense right here. Let me show you back. Now back, you have to do that. You have to click on slash and then you go back. Okay, so now we are in kind of like the C drive. Alright, the most important one is your home, where you go into your user profile and you can see your stuff here. So this is kind of like C drive, and your name, then to your desktop, your documents, pictures and whatnot over here. Okay, then slowly you go up to root. Now all this you can see cannot change directory, is because when I open MC I didn't use sudo, so that is why they come up with this. Only admin is able to view admin stuff, alright, or do admin stuff. All this snap. Now snap is one of like those stores. Alright, this you will see in my Nextcloud how I install Nextcloud. apt-get install and snap almost similar but different. apt-get is directly copy from the manufacturer or the vendor apps directly, like for example Firefox directly copy from Firefox website. But snap is a store managed by a middleman, where the middleman will package the Firefox and tweak it before putting it in a store or validating it. Then the user, me, will go into the Snap store and install whatever this middleman has done, whatever configuration. Then I will just install it and run it. It's kind of the same like Mac OS, where they have the store in Mac, where you install from the store instead of going to the browser and installing from there. Both of these has two different configuration. Don't confuse yourself. apt-get install has their own configuration, snap has their own configuration. They're both different, both doing the same thing but different installation. Snap is much more easier but buggy, as a lot of people may tell you, but I will still support snap. Alright, so let's go out from here. So now to come out from here, you see at the bottom, can you see a help menu, view, edit, copy? That's at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To come out, you need to press number 10. And number 10 is quit. So you press F10 on your keyboard, then you're out. Okay. Now let's just show you how I go into MC as admin. Do this, and you're in as admin, so you can go back into the root. It's kind of like Windows, the C drive to Windows directory. So this is the root directory. Then yeah, you can do whatever you need to. Alright, let's skip this. Other than that, let's go into, so when you use MK directory, that means it makes a directory. You can create a folder, means using this. So you create a folder in home administration, then you create hello, the folder, and then you create another one, the text inside that folder. Okay, to create, let's do this. Right, so when you make a directory, you make this, and then you slash, then you do by.txt. That's it. So if I were to do MC, I can see hello folder, and I can see by text. Alright. Now, once we are done, we go into the Snap. How to install apps using Snap. The way to install Snap is you go into your browser, type in Snap Nextcloud, type in the Snap and your app, then code to install in Ubuntu server. Then you just go and check out and search for the code. So they will tell you what code to put in for sudo snap install Nextcloud. So Nextcloud is a cloud app. I have again the video in my other playlist where it has the whole thing, tutorial, everything done there. So this is how you do this, sudo snap install Nextcloud. So you just do it here, sudo snap install Nextcloud, and that's it. So when you press enter, it does the same thing as apt-get install. Only thing is Snap is much more easier. It's all configured, everything is done for you. But for apt-get install, you have to do a lot of configuration that may take you around 1 to 2 hours if you're good. If not, you'll take maybe the whole day. Okay. Okay, so another command is Nano. Nano is a file editor. Now, why do you need a file editor? Why is it important to know? It's because everything inside here, to change the configuration, to change the settings, they're all done as a file editing. There are a few different editors, but I like the Nano. It's much more easier for me. So when you put Nano, you have to choose the file location. Now the problem with Ubuntu server is you have to remember every location, or else you have to use MC and remember the directory before doing it. You need to edit your network card, and where is it? So this is one of the location. Now there is a different location for maybe a different version or what. I've seen a lot of manual that shows me different location, different place. So this location may be for you, maybe not. If you don't find it, then you try finding online. So for me, the location of my network card files for configuring the network adapter is sudo nano etc netplan 00-installer-config.yaml. So then you go in. It's not found. Why is it not found? Alright, so this is where the location of your network adapter settings card is for configuring your static IP and whatnot inside this file. Okay, so now I'm inside here. You can now stop the DHCP, put no, and remember this space is very important. You need to use spacebar instead of tab, because tab is not registered as anything in Ubuntu server itself. You follow the guideline of the DHCP, the D, and you put in addresses. So make sure it's all correctly placed. This is very detailed. Okay, so right here I've done is DHCP, I put no to make it static. Then this address is your IP address, your gateway, your DNS server. I put it to Google and also to the 1111. Okay, because I want it, so I get it. Then you press Ctrl X to save, Y to yes, and enter to save it. Now we need to do is remember to like, subscribe, and share. Below is my previous videos, to the center is my other videos, and to the side of it is my playlist of my previous and future videos that is to come. So check that out, and thank you for watching. Famous Cyber signing out.